Hello my fellow gamers and welcome to this first video regarding my YouTubers Championship, where in this video I am joined by the one and only Janet on occasion. Welcome Janet.
Hey guys, we got a tournament to talk about.
We got tournament stuff. It's a first for me. We're gonna sit down and we're gonna go through the tournament format, and then we're gonna go through every YouTuber that's taken part, because we got 16 YouTubers. I don't know how I've managed this again, but we got 16 YouTubers. Some new faces, some old faces, some big faces, some small faces.
Some little faces.
Yeah, we got faces.
Yeah, we have a lot of faces. 16 faces, in fact.
Janet, we've already got around the conversation, and we're 30 seconds in. Sorry, guys, we've been trying to start this. Happens. We're trying to start this video for like 5 minutes, and we keep derailing ourselves.
I think it's been about an hour.
Has it?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
I think so. We're
so
we've professionals.
Pushed the record button, and we're just going to go over. It's going to be, as you can tell, very laid back, very casual. Just discussing the players, their channels, you know, what tournaments they've taken part in, what Janet thinks of them. It's going to be yeah, it's gonna be good. So
it's gonna be enlightening. So yeah, do you want to go over the tournament format so people know what the stakes are?
Yeah, no, we'll do that. So with the 16 players, guys, we're gonna split them into 4 groups of 4, and in each group they will have to all battle each other, which I believe is 6 battles per group. But then the top 2 players,
no, three battles per group.
Yeah, but 6 battles and no, it's 6.
6?
Well, yeah, the one player's got to play 3 players. Yeah. One player's got to play 2 others, and one
three battles each. But yeah. I'm being an idiot.
Yeah, it's all right. I've got it on my calendar in front of me. So this tournament's got to take up all of August and some of September. It's a big tournament. I'm doing a battle game. It's got to be huge. But yeah. So 4 people in each group. They all battle each other, and the top 2 from each group will then go to a second group stage, which is something new I'm doing for my tournament. So then those 2 groups of 4 will then go through the cycle again, battling all each other until there's a first and second place in each group. The 2 winners from each group will then battle a best out of 5 for first and second place, and the 2 second players in each group will battle each other in a best out of 3 for third and fourth place. Now, if I'm very clever, I will do some fancy editing on my screen, so it's easier than how I just explained. Pretty much 16 ends up with 1. That's how we're gonna end it. So that's the format, 16 YouTube, and it's to maximise as many games as we can, with as many crossover with as many YouTubers as we can, because that's the whole point of this tournament, is to get.
Yeah, it's also a damn shame if you start with knockouts and then, you know, someone might be up against like one of the top players in the tournament, get knocked out immediately, then that's it. You know, it's a shame. We want to see people play a range of people, which is always way more exciting. You know, see how everyone stacks up.
Absolutely, and if you even if it's just a simple 2 really good players, but one picks a faction that's slightly better than the other faction, it's like that other player's missed out, hasn't he?
Yeah. So that's another thing needs to be mentioned. It's blind picked.
Yes.
So people submit their factions for each player. So it's the group stage is obviously best of 1 with each person, but hopefully that averages out, right? So everyone gets to pick their faction to play against the other person with. If it's a mirror match, you guys re-roll, right? I didn't have a mirror match in my group.
No,
so
what I do is I ask for a backup army. So it'd pretty much be here's player 1, 2, and 3 you're up against. Give me your factions for player 1, player 2, player 3, and give me a backup faction if required. Then if there's a mirror match, the backup army I put in. The main reason for that is if I go, oh, by the way, for round 2, you can't use high elves because it's a mirror match. You now know you're up against high elves or something like that. So I always done it as a blind pick, even of the backup army. But we only had a couple mirror matches. That was quite lucky. I mean, there's enough factions now to avoid mirror matches as much as you used to.
I mean, and the balance is actually pretty good these days. I mean, certain patches they've been sort of standout factions that sort of everyone is picking as like the competitive pick. But yeah, I mean, we had a good range of factions. I think.
Definitely a good mix
in the group stage. I certainly saw a lot of different factions picked, which is pretty awesome. Like, it's nice to have that variety, especially with a tournament this size. You know, it would be such a shame if everyone just picked the exact same factions.
And this is something that needs to be pointed out, guys. Oh, that was professional. Professional Shadow Duelist streams again.
Oh no, it's very professional. You got your own jingle for this segment.
Obviously. But also, guys,
piece,
one of the rules for the blind picks is you can only pick each race once per round. So you couldn't just go, I'll use dwarfs for 3 rounds.
Yeah, I'm not sure anyone would do that, but
actually, I know a couple of YouTubers.
More power to them if they did. Honestly.
No, I know a couple of YouTubers that would just pick one race if they could, and it's like, nope, you've got to pick 3.
Oh yes, yeah. Well, one.
Well, one we know.
Every time. Yeah.
But that's because he's.
Well, so speaking of the players, should we just get into it then?
Yeah. We'll start with Group A, the first player. Would you like to introduce him?
Yeah. So Dog Shadow Gaming. He's fairly new in the community. He hasn't played a lot of multiplayer. He's played very little, in fact, but he does play legendary campaigns. So like he knows the game well. But I mean, it's an entirely different game playing multiplayer, right? So Absolutely. He might be a great commander, but in terms of building your army, there's certain things that as a campaign player you're going to rely on. You know, just campaign mechanics, right? You know, setting up ambushes if you're outnumbered or bringing multiple stacks. There's a lot of ways you can hedge your bets in campaign, but you've still got to be a good commander because there are going to be times you're caught out. You will need to know how to command your army, but you're going to be relying on units that are strong to that legendary lord a lot of the time. So that can skew your sort of perspective on certain units. So I do wonder how well he'll be able to sort of combat sort of those bad habits he might have learnt. Because he's definitely a capable commander, but yeah, we'll just have to see if he can build an army, I think.
And it's the fact as well you've got to add is if you've never played against a human, I mean, the Total War AI is a lot better than used to, but it's still AI. It's still you can still do things. Or it
will fall for the same old tricks.
Exactly. Well, a human player would just go, I've not got time for this, and wipe your army out. So yeah, his first tournament, he hasn't done much multiplayer. But he has got the micro skills and things like that, which would be.
For sure.
He's just.
So I think he could surprise. I think he could surprise for sure. Like I wouldn't count him out. Because I think it was Indie Pride coming into the Ever Chosen some months ago. Like he performed great. And he hadn't played a lot of multiplayer himself, you know, so everyone was thinking, yeah, maybe he's not gonna. No, he did great. Like it doesn't necessarily mean you're not going to do well if you only play campaign or predominantly play campaign. So it's I'm looking forward to seeing his games for sure.
That we got a few new tournament players for this round. Great names and that, but they're like wild cards because it's like they either won't do well or they're micro and what they've learned even from other games and that. If they can get their head around against a human player, they could do very well. They could do
for sure.
So it's a bit of a wild card. It's kind of hard to say. We've seen these guys in tournaments. They do this, this, and this. No, we have no idea what they're gonna do.
And actually, there's. I mean, this goes for sort of any of the players in here that don't play a lot of multiplayer because they don't know the meta. They're not going to fall into those traps because there's a lot of the time it tends to be sort of moderate experienced players. They tend to go with what is seen as like the sure thing sort of meta for any matchup.
Well, I don't know what you're talking about, mate. I've never done that. Well, in any tournament I've ever taken part.
But the thing is, beyond that, you learn what the meta is, and you know to bring something that can combat that. Right, so it's going a step beyond. It's being one step ahead of your opponent. There's sort of the sure thing, but you find a way to get around that. But for these guys, they don't know what the meta is, so they're going to be bringing the unexpected. So that brilliant counter pick to the meta, it might not counter what these players bring, you know? So it depends which way they want to play it. So it's going to be really interesting to see what people come up with.
Yeah, no, it's nice to have some fresh blood. Mix it up a bit, isn't it?
Sure.
It's because
absolutely
they might do something that becomes the meta. It's like, why didn't we think of that?
Yeah. I mean, who knows? They might come up with something brilliant. So yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting to see those matches, I think. So yeah, any other things to add about Dog Shadow Gaming?
Just mainly that he's mainly legendary campaigns on his channel. It's his first tournament. Also, guys, all the links to everyone's channels will be in the description below in my video. I hope Janet does the same.
Yeah, if I remember.
Yeah, no. If not, I'll have them all below.
If not, shout at me and I'll do it.
Thanks, Janet. Just
I'm good when people tell me I've missed something.
But it wasn't through yourself that I got in contact with Dog Shadow Gaming.
Yeah, I believe so. He reached out to me at one point. It was like, hey, I'm starting a channel playing Total War. You know, how does one do that? So I dragged all the Discord channels and was like, yeah, just get your name out there. You know, collaborate, hang out with people. It's the way to do it.
He is the
Yeah, so
smallest
suddenly
channel.
he was brought into the fold. So yeah, it's great to see him in a tournament now.
Yeah, guys, give him some love. Give him a check out because it is really good content what he's got up. So yeah, give him some love. And just to dismiss the rumours, he is not my dog playing games. Okay, dog Shadow Gaming is
Sadly
not
not.
Shadow Online.
Sadly not.
To be fair, if he was a dog playing Total War, he would have more subscribers than anyone ever.
Yeah, yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Oh dear, we should move on quickly.
I'd watch that.
So would I.
Right, so our second player in Group A, we have Ragnarok Total War. So this isn't his first one of your tournaments, is it?
No, he's been in a couple of mine actually. The Winter Tournament and the YouTubers Tournament, but he hasn't got past the group stage yet. He's always been either paired up with really big players or just misfortune, things like that. But he's quite new. I think the YouTubers Tournament was the first one he was in, and then he took part in the Winter one. But yeah, I think the YouTubers one was his first ever tournament. So he's only he's not so much of a veteran multiplayer as much as like Dog, Shadow Gaming and that. So he's still, but he's definitely getting better each time. He's definitely been improving. Who knows? In this tournament, he might get through to the group stage, past the group stage, hopefully.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I mean, that's the thing. He's always a good sport, which is great.
Oh, absolutely. Well, he's
always a good sport.
They're always good sports.
That's just how that works.
Yeah.
It's genetic or something. I don't know.
It's great.
Maybe it's the air there. I don't know.
Well, it probably is fresher than it is in England, that's for sure. But his main thing he's got going at the moment, guys, is he's doing a Mortal Empire campaign where he's literally painting the map red, Janet. So you can imagine how long that's taken him. I think
that's going to take a while.
I think he's like on episode 150 odd.
Jeez. That's a lot of content.
That is a hell of a lot of good Empire content.
Wow.
And to mix it up, he's doing some Rome 2 stuff as well, where he's playing as Egypt for some reason. I guess Canada, Egypt, they're practically the same thing. So, but yeah, I mean, he's definitely used to doing the tournaments and that, so he's not going to have that early pressure of performing in front of people. He knows the routine of picking your factions, what to expect from certain players. He's got that slight edge over the newer ones, but how that comes across though. Because I've seen him play co-op. We've done co-op campaigns together, and I've learned if you put him on depressor quickly, I think he panics a little bit. So it'd be interesting if the other players can do that. Put that early pressure on him and see how that goes down. So, but yeah, no, definitely to one watch out for because he has taken part in a couple, so he has got that experience behind him. So it'd be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely because I've definitely seen him trying to get some training matches in with some people. So he's putting the work in. So it should be interesting to see if that comes to fruition.
Hopefully so. Yeah. So. Definitely want to look out for. Again, link in the description, guys. Janet, who's going to be our third player. It's another new face, and quite surprised by this
another
name.
new face. Vulcan Total War. So Vulcan is HD Gaming, I think, is his main channel. He's branched out into Total War. He plays a ton of what's that game? The one that's micro crazy.
Oh, flipping heck! It's one with the World War II ones, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna have to look this up now. I can't remember off the top of my head.
Steel Division 2. I'm pretty sure it is, right?
I'm going to confirm this. You carry on talking about his Total War channel while I look this up.
All right, so yeah, he's big on strategy games, very good at them, and so now he's tackling Total War, and he seems competent. Like he understands strategy a lot. He understands the pros and cons of different units. He's big on stats. Seeing strengths and weaknesses, he's quite analytical about it from what I've seen, and I've had some good conversations with him about different matchups, and he's coming up with some great ideas. So I think it's gonna be really cool to see what he brings to the table. Because again, fairly new to Total War, but not new to strategy or multiplayer.
No,
plays a lot of multiplayer.
Definitely.
So
I mean,
yeah. So at the moment, he is playing a what is he playing? Empire Total War. Yeah, and Three Kingdoms as well as Warhammer. So he's keeping busy. So he's
And this is his sister channel as well. He's definitely going to be Black Horse, I think, because I mean, if you watch him play Steel Division, the size of those maps and how many units and I couldn't do it. It's just too much over a wide
He's used
radius.
to juggling a lot.
Yeah.
And that's often what trips up newer players to multiplayer. It's just the fact that you send a unit off to go do something and then you forget about it and it's chased someone to the end of the map. And, you know, that could be a really strong unit and you just can't juggle everything that's going on. He knows how to juggle a lot of things on screen. So, you know, he's got good sort of situational awareness for that kind of thing. So I don't think he's going to fall for the same, like, similar mistakes where you just sort of, like, attack and release and, you know.
Hope for the best.
It'll be really interesting to see. Play,
he's going to be. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing how he does because, yeah, like I said, new to the multiplayer. In fact, wasn't it? When we done some training matches, it was the first time he saw the multiplayer screen.
Yeah,
it was seriously. He hasn't.
Impressive.
He's never seen that. He's not even clicked on multiplayer just to see what it looks like. But he's played a lot of campaigns, as you said. He's got on his main channel, the HD Gaming. Again, there'll be a link to both. He does some really good strategy, big scale strategy games. So I'd be interested to see.
Oh yeah.
But I think it's going to be like little things like the magic, which you don't normally get in other strategy games. And like that,
active abilities and things I think might trip him up because they are something that's sort of outside the realm of other strategy games. When you're just microing sort of the units, you gotta look at the overall. And also just the effect of spells to and fro, because you might get hit by a spell and you might see like a little glyph on the ground and not think anything of it, not having enough sort of information about the enemy spellcasting capabilities, right? There are other ways you can get tripped up, so we'll see if you can react to that stuff.
Absolutely. So I introduced the fourth player of Group A, Janet.
So who's this joker?
The fourth player we've got is Janet on occasion. So.
Well, you cut out then, so my audience had no idea.
You're kidding.
That was. Yeah.
Perfectly timed. No, the fourth player would be Janet on occasion. So Janet,
Janet on occasion.
Yeah. Huh? Could you, I've been told you know quite a bit now. Could you tell me everything you know about him?
Anything I know about Janet on occasion? Yes. Well, potentially not always Janet, only on occasion. I mean, what does that mean? It's such an enigma. It makes no sense to me at all. Probably pulled that name out of a hat. What a lunatic! I think dangerous, shouldn't be trusted, and probably just move on to Group B. I think better.
You don't want to discuss all the great tournaments he's taken part in and the exciting stuff you've got going on your channel.
All right, let's go through my credentials, shall we?
Your CV.
So, yeah, my CV, my curriculum vitae. So, all right, biggest accomplishment, I think, 3rd place in the first ever chosen tournament, which I enjoyed greatly. Haven't competed in any others because I've been co-hosting them, which is a bit of a shame, actually. Bit of a shame. I'd love to play in another one at some point, but yeah, happy just talking about it for now. So yeah, played in all of your tournaments so far, I think.
Yes, I want to say yes. No, you have. You've played in all 3 of them. What surprises me is the Mortals Empires tournament, which was my first tournament I'd done, I believe. I beat you.
Was it?
Yeah, it was Mortal Empires.
I'm trying to remember the battle.
But it was. I think you just had some bad picks in the group.
Yeah,
it was because I got through to the finals against Gobo King, and all my cavalry got killed by a single cannon shot.
Classic.
That was amazing. It was just like, here's the final, and Gobo King's where he shouldn't be, and there goes all my cavalry. Brutal. So,
but yeah, so I played in all of those. One thing that really, really frustrates me though. Luckily, it hasn't happened this time. So fingers crossed. I won't suddenly get struck by it. Every single time you organise a tournament, it's like this Janet occasion. Burke just goes, "Oh, Shadow's tournament's coming up. I better go lick a tramp because I can't possibly be healthy for this tournament. I'm going to be as ill as I can be for this." So it's just every time you announce a tournament, I'm like, "Oh God, I'm going to get the plague. I'm going to get the plague because Shadow is doing a tournament." But no, I'm fit as a fiddle this time, so I'm feeling more confident.
I'm still on top of the I'm just you going, "Excuse me, good sir. I'm just about to take part in a tournament. Do you mind if I lick you?"
No, it's much better. It's much better to ask for forgiveness than to ask for permission. In those kind of circumstances.
She's go to a trap and lick him, and then
just give a good hearty lick.
What are we doing with our lives?
Yeah, be like, "It's Shadow's tournament." Be like, "Oh right, yeah, carry on." Yeah, I know the stakes.
As I said, guys, and this is not a professional video in the slightest. We're just going over everyone and introducing them.
That's what you guys are here for.
It is, yeah. So, so that is the first group, guys. That's Group A. Janet, your thoughts. I know there may be some biased on who you think's going to get through now because it's got to be the top two. But who do you think? Because we've got two new people, yourself and Ragnarok, who's an experienced tournament player. But
yeah, honestly, I felt pretty happy with this group. Not to sound cocky, but none of these guys have played multiplayer as much as I have, so I'd be very sad if I didn't make it through this. I'd be livid. But yeah, I mean, they're great guys, and I think the main thing is we're going to see one of them is going to get second place, and I really can't wait to see who that is, and I'm really looking forward to the matches here, because like I said, they're all great sports, and it's great to have some new blood as well as some some returning.
Absolutely. I mean,
returning faces there.
My money's on Vulcan purely because it turns out he lives within a 30 minutes drive from me, so he's another southerner from UK.
Oh yeah.
I couldn't believe when I found that out. So yeah, my money's going to be on him.
People have to live somewhere, dude. Like they have to live somewhere. Why not?
Yes, but I'm just saying he's a local. You know, he's a southern boy like myself.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, my money's going to be on him to beat.
So, so there's bias there. There's bias there.
I'm allowed to. It's my tournament. Shut up.
The guys, if Vulcan gets through, then then you know it's rigged.
It's all fixed, yeah. And if Janet miraculously gets ill with broken arm, then that was the tramp.
Then you guys need to let me know to stop licking tramps.
Yeah, that's before we move on though, we've been talking about what the people have been doing on the channel. We never said what you doing. What's your latest on there? So you've been expanding a bit more.
Again, you cut out during that. What?
Why? It's your internet. Mine's fine.
Honestly, I think it's just because you're in like stage voice and Discord keeps like cancelling you out because you're too loud. I think it thinks your background noise.
Why didn't you tell me? I was quiet.
Well, I don't know.
I'm just excited. I'm enthusiastic.
You got your stage voice going. It's nice, really.
I'm in the zone. I'm passionate about these friends.
Exactly.
But no, I was saying we covered everyone else's. But what's the newest things on your channel? Because I know you've expanded out to some new games.
So
what's your latest thing?
So yeah, so just finished my second Three Kingdoms campaign, and because the DLC is around the corner, too late to start another one. So I've been playing around with some other stuff. So I've been playing They Are Billions, did a mini series on Mechanicus, getting back to doing a lot more Total War, Warhammer battles. So back to basics, playing around with some stuff while I have that breathing room, and then we'll be jumping straight back into like 3K campaigns, and then showcasing a ton of tournament matches from this very tournament. So we'll start playing Warhammer stuff to enjoy. So yeah, that's stuff. That's me.
And that's Group A, yeah. So
that's Group A. Right. So Group B.
Would you like to do
the B team, if you will?
The B team. Oh my god. The better team, you could say.
Yeah, the BS team. See what I did there? Well, anyway. So first up, TzuDevil. I'm a big fan of TzuDevil, just for his commitment to the dwarfs. I think is astounding. He's fun fact about him. He's been playing dwarfs for I think 30 years.
Oh, is that the tabletop or?
Yep. He got into Warhammer super early. Tabletop miniatures. Been playing dwarfs the entire time, and that commitment has not left him. Going into Warhammer, it's the only faction he plays like religiously. Obviously in this tournament you can't play dwarfs 3 times in a row, as we've established when we discussed the rules, so he can't just bring dwarfs. But I mean, it's a bold pick. Dwarfs are a tough faction because they have like just chariot play will mess them up. Any faction with chariots can just spam chariots and it's a nightmare for them to deal with. So you are putting yourself at a big disadvantage being like a dwarf main, but he does those Dowie proud. I've had some good games with him in the past. We did a little mini series where I played whatever and he played dwarfs every time. And
I remember that.
Honestly, there were some moments where I thought I'd have him easily, and he'd just bring a unit that I hadn't seen anyone bring before because he just knows the faction inside out. So yeah, I'm expecting a very good dwarf game out of him.
I mean, he's very into the numbers.
I don't know what else he's going to bring though.
Yeah, the start crunching and that, because he's learned so much of the dwarves, he can look at other factions and just immediately have something to compare them to.
Oh yeah.
So he does a lot of things. If you go on his channel, like he gets up bar charts and graphs and all sorts, and he matches them up. And I'm just there like, you're talking numbers I don't understand. It's like higher than 3. I don't get this.
Yeah, he does a lot of testing, which is really cool on his channel. So yeah, if you guys really want to learn dwarfs inside out, I mean, the sad thing is there's no other channels out there that do that kind of testing. To that extent for other factions. So
well, that's it. It's been branched to other factions, just not as much though, has he? But it's a little bit there.
Yeah.
If you go on his channel and bug him, he might do other races though.
I'm just going to agree with you because I barely got a word of that, but that's great.
Yeah,
that's great.
Yeah, no.
So so TzuDevil, absolute hero for the dwarfs. I love it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he's been in a couple of your tournaments already, hasn't he?
He has, yes. He went in the Winter tournament and the YouTubers tournament. Now, the Winter tournament he only didn't get out the group stage, unfortunately. But the YouTubers one, he did get to the quarterfinals, which was really impressive. He was also, I gave him an award for the most improved player because he went from only campaigns of dwarves to multiplayer with 3 different races.
Oh yeah,
that's
it's very impressive.
And I know that you two had practiced for hours, didn't you, before the tournament, so he could get.
Yeah, we had some good games. Yeah, it was good. Because I mean that's the thing with him being like such a dwarf main, like he has to do some research for the other factions that he has to play. But he's committed to it. Like he said, yeah, I'm doing a tournament, and he's going to do it right. So
he did good. He did
bad
good.
respect for this guy.
I do remember the Beastman game he used Beastman against you, and they were lined up like dwarfs in squares. And I was just there like, what is this?
Yeah, that didn't quite go to plan.
No, it didn't. That did not end well.
Yeah.
So,
but I mean, good effort though. He definitely learned a lot from that tournament, and I mean, he's only been picking up a hell of a lot more. I expect him to do well in this tournament for sure.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think he would take a few people by surprise there. And surprisingly enough, the main content he's got at the moment is he's doing training matches with another YouTuber.
Oroka Boss. Yeah, I mean, Oroka Boss is a good player, so I think that's a great person to spar against. So hopefully that experience already shined through for this tournament.
And he's definitely expanded. Like he's doing live casts now, like how we started. He's doing that now, and funny enough, a legendary dwarf campaign as well because mixed up a bit.
So for sure.
So guys, if
it's a Mortal Empires campaign. This is totally different. But yeah, obviously it's going to be dwarves, isn't it?
But yeah, obviously if you like your dwarves,
matches for sure. So next up, you want to do the honors?
Oh, I'll do this one, said I. Okay then. So our second player for Group B is the legendary Profpwn himself. Yeah, he's an interesting player, definitely for sure. He's only taken part in 2 tournaments as far as I know, which was the Ever Chosen Invitational, which I believe was the first one they ever done.
Yep.
Which is the one you took part in. And he took part in my winter tournament, which he came second, only because he went into the finals against Turin. So if you're going to lose to someone in the finals, I think Turin's one of the better players to.
Yeah. But no, definitely brilliantly there. I mean, he's a player that I mean, I don't want to say that he doesn't take it seriously as a bad thing. He doesn't take it seriously, but that's a good thing because he's constantly bringing like serious surprises. He'll bring something like memey and fun a lot of the time. So, big fan favorite, but he is really capable.
Oh yeah,
he surprised me a lot of times. Like he can take on people that, most would see as far higher skill than himself because he's not as bad as he lets on when he brings a load of crazy nonsense. He lets fun drive the game, which I think is, brilliant. It's a game after all.
And he's such a great
he likes to have fun with it. But he is competent. He is a good commander. So he can definitely pull out some surprises.
But he's just a great guy to play against as well. He's so laid back. He's he just wants a good game. Great sport. He just wants a good game. And enjoy himself, and make sure you enjoy yourself as well when you play against him, which is
it's
definitely
lovely.
Great. But yeah, it's funny when he brings a little surprise. You're like, oh, that's not the meta. And then he's like, oh, but I can do this, and suddenly your army's gone.
Yeah.
It's so fantastic when that happens, though. The crowd love it. People's hero.
It is good. It is good. Yeah.
But,
definitely fan favorite, I think.
Oh, definitely. But mainly on his channel, it's mainly just Blood Bowl 2 stuff, but I think that's because he's got a lot going on outside of YouTube, so he's just taking the channel along with that. But he's taking part in this tournament, which is very exciting, and getting back into the Total War scene. So, do you want to do the next one?
Yeah, so I've got some guy. I think his dog is in this tournament. It's ShadowOnlineGaming.
Its dog's in the tournament.
Yeah. So Shadow, what have you got going on then?
Oh wow! Well, first of all, we really had to scrape the barrel on this one. We couldn't find anyone else to join the tournament, so I got chucked in. Yes, guys, I know my subscribers are going to be very excited because I don't really take part in many of the tournaments now. I host them, I commentate them, but now you get to see me get absolutely beaten to death by a dwarf player and a guy who brings meme builds, which is going to be very, very exciting. I
mean, I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, it's going to be great fun. It's going to be great. Everyone look forward to seeing my games going. So I'm just looking. Yeah, so I took part in 2 of my own tournaments where one I didn't get past the group stage because I didn't win a single game. You might remember that.
I mean, but then the other one you beat me, so it's.
This is true. I came second in the Mortal Empires tournament, and that was against Gobbo King. So he's stupidly good.
Yeah.
And I did take part in the Ever Chosen Summer Invitational. That was a highlight against Sakama.
Yeah, that was great fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a pleasure seeing you there, man.
Oh, that was brilliant. That was great. One of the more interesting games, because the other games before, people were being really careful, and it was like it was 2 wins, game done. Me and Sakama, what races were we advised to use? Oh, well, these races are really good. Should we make that as a not to play this? This is actually what we did before the tournament. So when people advised us to use these races, we just didn't use them. Because we wanted to bring, and we ended up having 3 games. Absolutely great fun.
Yeah, there were some great matches for sure.
Yeah, and I mean, Sakama
it was a really close set. Yeah.
Well, you got that meme where you're going, oh, there's going to be a load of artillery here. It's a mortar. Which was
again you cut out then, but yeah, I was throwing a curveball because I was commentating for Shadow's matches in that I've chosen match, and I was thinking like, oh, you're up against Bretonnia, you're playing as Empire, like we're gonna see probably some cannons and things, and take out Grail Knights and stuff. I don't know, we just brought a load of mortars.
It was one. No, it was 1 mortar. That's all I brought. Artillery.
That's one too many mortars against Bretonnia. You know. It was so unexpected. It just made me look like a complete idiot. Like, oh yeah, he's probably brought this. No, he hadn't brought anything that I thought he brought at all. It's like, all right, no, I remember now. It's Shadow, of course. He's gonna buck the trend, isn't he?
And let's face it, this tournament's gonna be full of it. So next on my channel, I've just finished a Dawn of War 2 Elite Mod tournament. That was something new, something different.
Oh yeah.
It's weird going from playing Total War where it's like, oh look, they've got spearmen and magic, and then it's like, oh, here comes giant tyrannage and space marines and things like that. But that was great fun.
There's Karl Franz with his las cannon. It's like, you don't get that, do you?
No. Well, this men do, but
yeah, fair.
So and also I've been just filling in some gaps because I knew this tournament was coming up, so I didn't want to start anything new. Doing some Darkest Dungeon where I name all the characters after my subscribers and then watch them die horribly. That's
yeah, I mean the intention is to keep them alive though. It's not just some sick power fantasy of like, take that, my subscribers.
Well, you've got a character in there and he hasn't died yet.
Yet.
Yeah.
I noticed you said yet.
Yeah, well, it's Darkest Dungeon.
He's saving me till last, guys. He's saving me till last.
Best till last, mate. So, so I'll let you do the big name. I've got a big name for the last play in Group B.
Yeah. So, no Shadows tournament is really complete without the odd sort of, oh, really? They're in it. Cool. Moment. And this one is Turin. Turin's competing in this one, which is awesome. He doesn't often compete in tournaments. That's the thing.
Well,
that's the thing to really. Because of his wrist problems. But the beauty of Shadows tournaments is that you just play your battles when you're free to do so. So he can space them out. So it's a tournament that he can compete in, and it means that we all get to actually see him play in a tournament, which is awesome. I really love to see that because it's rare. It's rare. The ones that happen on weekends, you have to sit there all day. and compete, and
Yeah, I can't
it's just
manage
too
that
difficult
myself.
if you've got a dodgy wrist. So yeah, getting Shadow to organize this and dragging him in is lovely. So big fan of that. So I mean, it's quite easy to sum up what he does. It's just Total War Warhammer, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
pretty much. It's
yeah, he's
done
quite a
well.
fan of it, apparently. He quite enjoys it. So, and yeah, again, a lot of other people here have got the odd ever chosen merit. But I mean, he's been hosting it from the very beginning. It was him and Italian Spartacus that put together the first one that I competed in, and yeah, they've been hosting it ever since. So he definitely knows what he's talking about, and he knows how to play. So it's going to be really cool to see what he does here.
And the last tournament he took part in, which was an absolute pleasure, he stomped it. Smashed it away.
Oh yeah, that was
through.
one of your other tournaments.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was. Yeah, the Shadows YouTubers tournament he took part in, and
yeah,
absolutely stomped it, but absolutely brilliant. But for those
yeah, he
unobservant,
beat me in that one. Beastman versus Greenskins.
oh, did
I was livid.
but it just needs to be
Yeah,
pointed out,
I
guys.
let far too many units get caught out there. Yeah, he can put a lot of pressure on people when he wants to, and yeah, very very difficult to deal with him.
Oh, he's
So
good with his
gonna
micro, isn't he?
Sure.
Just
Oh yeah,
having
for sure.
units everywhere, and you're just like, what's going on? It's it's like the skill of free
Yeah,
players.
he always has like, it doesn't matter what faction he brings, he'll always have a very sturdy front line that he knows won't buckle, and then it's just let the micro skills do the rest of the work for him. Sort of around the edges, it works out great. So yeah, very good player. It's going to be interesting to see where he gets to in this one.
Absolutely, and I'm just so if people didn't know us, yes, you've got TzuDevil, who's a fantastic, dwarf player and picking up. Professor Pony brings really good mean beams. Turin, one of the best players in the world, and me in Group B.
Yeah.
So, Jenna, how do you think the players are going to do? Who do you think is going to be the two to get through?
Well, I mean, I just want to reiterate how happy I was to be in Group A.
Yeah, Group B's definitely a tough one.
Yeah, there's some great players there. I mean, I was saying like TzuDevil, he can really surprise. He knows his stuff. He puts a lot of work in, but I think with Professor Pwn and Turin in there as well, that could be really tough for him. But I think between him and Pwn, anything can happen. Shadow, I think you'll do great so long as you manage to surprise the crap out of people, because you have been known to do that occasionally.
This is true. Just win
But
by surprise.
if they bring the right tools to deal with whatever nonsense you happen to roll the dice on, then yeah, I think you're gonna have a tough time sort of lucking out against all three.
It's just gonna be my survival will be measured in nanoseconds.
So, yeah, my prediction is Turin going ahead.
You definitely think Turin for it, and
I think that's a guarantee, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure who's going to get second. I'm really not.
So it's either going to be Professor Pwn memes, TzuDevil with the maths, or Shadow with whatever Shadow brings.
Yeah.
You watch. I'll be all of you. I'll be at the top, mate. It's where I belong. It's my tournament. So we'll quickly move on to Group C.
So guys, if Shadow goes through, then we know that it's rigged.
It should be. I'm not going to get through any other way. I mean, look at the group I'm up against, Jenna.
No, man, you're going to put on a good show. That's what matters. So Group C.
Do you want to do this one because I can never pronounce his name properly?
It's Wyvern.
Wyvern.
It's a unit in the game. Dude.
I know, and I just say it's the orc
unit
flyer.
in the game that you're about to talk about for like 50 replays.
I just call it the orc flyer.
Practice it with me. Okay? What? Why?
Why?
Vern.
Wyvern.
No, why? Not Rye.
See, that's the thing. I get my W's and R's mixed up. Wyvern.
All together. Wyvern.
Wyvern.
Nailed it, right?
So really, I ignore the W and say the Y. Wyvern.
Yeah, I mean, if that's how you want to do it,
as long as it sounds close, it's alright. I have people sound at me in my Dawn of War 2 tournament because I was mispronouncing units. It's like, shut up, my tournament. I can call. But it's mainly my R's and W's. But anyway, moving on. So Wyvern.
I mean, he's a good player. He's a good player for sure. I think his YouTube channel is still fairly small, but he knows what he's doing for sure. In fact, in the previous tournament of yours, I mean, I had licked a tramp, but that's no excuse. He did manage to beat me rather well in our match. It was High Elves versus Greenskins, and yeah, he was all over me. He's good. He knows what he's doing. He's on top of his micro. His builds are solid. he's going to be a contender for sure. But yeah, he knows his stuff.
But he's only been in one tournament beforehand, as far as I know. I mean, he might have been in some small ones.
Yeah,
but
yeah. I mean, he plays a lot on ladder though. He plays a lot on ladder.
this is very true. Yeah.
So yeah, he knows his stuff for sure. So yeah, he does a lot of community casts, and also he talks about just like the balance of the game a lot. Talking about sort of buffs and nerfs that are required that he thinks in the game. So he discusses the stats of things a lot. So to do that, you have to know
Good understanding
as
of
well.
it.
So he's got a good knowledge of the game, and his micro is definitely up there. So he's going to be a contender, I think.
Absolutely, yeah. So good stuff, Group C. Definitely could be a good one there. So the second one we've got is personal favourite main is Zardar Total Warrior, who's taken part all the way from Greece. Love him. But yeah, this guy.
Oh, have we been supposed to be saying where everyone's from this whole time?
No, it's just something that stands out, and I think he has the best intro. Like in the last tournament he was in for me, he had this like heavy metal intro. It was like proper death rock, and then he starts his video, goes, "Oh, hello," and it's just brilliant with this heavy metal. To then have the most like nicest voice,
cheery guy.
I loved it. It was definitely worth watching his videos for
lovely.
that. So, but he does a lot of modded campaigns and that.
Yeah, he does. He likes to mix it up a lot, which is interesting. He steers away from the sort of standard stuff, but I mean, he plays a lot of, obviously with multiplayer, you have to play vanilla, right? You can't mod quick battles, and he plays a lot of battles. He's very competent. He's done very well in like a bunch of Turin's Flash tournaments and stuff. He's really good. He's up there for sure. He's gonna be a contender.
Yeah,
there's no
I haven't
doubt
been able
about
to
it.
check the stats
He's very capable.
Or Torrens Flash tournaments, because there's been a few, hasn't there? So
yeah, he's done a couple. Yeah,
done. Yeah, no, but Zardar's
Zardar
definitely a
really well. Yeah.
So
yeah, he's a very good player.
And he's taken part in a couple of mine, like what the YouTube's tournament made it to the quarterfinals. The winter tournament, unfortunately, didn't make it past the group stage, but I suspect he was just up against some really tough contenders. I can't remember what the groups were, but
yeah, it's a while ago now.
Yeah, no, the winter tournament was a long time ago. So at least a year ago, because we're in autumn now, summer, autumn. So yeah. So, but yeah,
well, it's the middle of summer.
Look, my brain's melting. I'm struggling
because of the heat. Because it's summer.
I'm delusional at this point. Okay, I probably need some more.
My shadow's broken.
I'm so broke. And then I found out I'm up against Turin and that, and it's just like
press F to pay respect.
Thank you, I appreciate that. But yeah, so the main thing, if you want to watch campaigns that are really different than mods, like he's got Lord of the Rings campaign going, Medieval Kingdoms 12, 20, playing as the English, obviously, because, you know, best facts to play as. But he's definitely good.
He's Greece, and like he's Greek, and he knows that, you know. It's,
but yeah, he's definitely contender for the. As you said, he does a lot of like mini tournaments and things like that. So definitely be interesting to see how he does in this group. Oh,
for sure.
Yeah,
but it's a tough group.
It's
a
true,
very tough group.
It's not like Group A where it's Janet and beginners, and Group B where it's pros and me. Group C is a nice mix of players. So
it's all rigged, guys. It's all rigged.
Yeah, if Janet gets through,
really shouldn't spread those rumors. You've actually just been rolling dice for most of this, haven't you?
Yes. For the mix-ups, I just do, and even the maps, I get a list of players, get a list of maps, and roll d10s, d20s, and just see where it lands. So no favoritism, guys. There's no obviously, but
yeah, but it's good to clarify.
Well, it's good.
I keep joking that it's rigged when I really shouldn't be.
Well,
it's
to be
really
fair,
giving you a bad name.
How rigged can it be if I pit myself against some of the best players in the world out of all the people?
True. That's true. Yeah.
It's like, I don't think he wanted to get through. So anyway, I'll let you introduce the next one because it's another big name.
Yes. Loremaster of Sotek is joining the fray. Yeah, love this guy. So cheerful. It was actually the third place spot in the first ever chosen. I was up against him, and I didn't entirely deserve it. We were so evenly matched. But he's such a good sport because we were showing off new content with that. We were like, the dwarf rework was coming with that patch, and no one had used giant slayers yet. So we're like, we want to show that off. So he actually opted to go Lizardman and brought a ton of like big stompy
Oh,
dinosaurs.
bless him.
And I brought a load of giant slayers just so we could have a great time watching like dinosaurs getting torn to shreds by this new unit. And he basically threw the game there. Sure, he tried to win it, but he immediately set out with a disadvantage just so we could show stuff off. So really good sport, and he's always there for the people watching. Great sportsman. He's a very good player, but he's happy. He's happy just to please the fans, and I think that's amazing. Really good dude. Really good dude.
And he's been in like every tournament.
He could definitely get through to the next round though, because he is a very good player. I think in this, where we're not trying to show off new content or anything, we're just trying to have some great matches. He could easily just win.
Oh yeah,
every
definitely.
Game he plays here, because
he
is definitely competent. Yeah,
absolutely. And when it comes to lore as well, he knows all the secret backdoors to it all. So
yeah, I mean that's what got him into Total War Warhammer is he's such a big Warhammer fan. So he knows every unit so well. Not from the stats, but just from the lore, and obviously that drove his passion for Total War Warhammer, which has been very involved from the beginning. So it's great. It's great to see. Oh, and of course he did join us to co-host the Last Ever Chosen as well.
He did, which was really good, because didn't you have like a server crashed or something and the connection went in the game?
Oh God, yeah,
and so horrific. They were like, "What do we do to pass the time?" And then Sotek went, "I'll tell you some lore." I actually enjoyed watching that, just sitting down.
Yeah, it was amazing.
And having like
him just chatting for an hour.
Yeah, just throwing questions
just
at
save
him.
the day. So that was amazing. So really good to have him on board for that, and great to have him on board for this tournament as well, because I love watching his games.
Oh, absolutely.
Obviously, Loremaster of Sotek, he's big on Lizardman. So expect to see at least one good Lizardman game in this tournament, because he's almost certainly going to be bringing him. I'd be very surprised if he didn't.
Yeah, well,
so yeah,
he might do that to throw his opponents off though, because they might go,
he might be saving them for another round, not wanting to use them too often.
True, but so also someone on his channel who's doing that no one else is doing at the moment, which I thought you'd be interested in being a roleplayer. He's doing Warhammer Fantasy roleplaying on his channel, doing a series where him and his mates meet up and they do a session of a bit of an RPG, which is interesting for so he's definitely got a lot of bases covered: Total War, the history, the lore, and then some role playing as well. Doing Q&A stuff.
Great stuff.
Yeah, so he's definitely a channel worth checking out if you've somehow not already heard of him.
Yeah,
if
for sure. But also, just lovely guy.
and a lovely dog as well.
Lovely bloke. So yeah, he can be a contender here for sure.
Yeah, definitely. So the last one for Group C, Janet.
Yep, so we've got BlackIron Battle. So so he's been in one of the episodes as well, hasn't he? He's in the first one.
I believe he was in the first one. Yes.
Yep. And I mean, good player. I mean, he's busy with real life, so it's a bit intermittent a lot of the time. But mostly he's the one who organises the Blood Bowl 2 tournaments. But he does play a lot of Total War as well. So he's a capable player, and I think he's come on a long way since sort of the early days of him playing. So I'm interested to see what he brings, because I have no idea what his preferences are these days. I know that he wants to do a series of. Well, I know he once did a series of like hundreds of episodes of just Grimgore.
Legend.
Trying to prove that Grimgore was awesome.
Did he prove it?
I think I had mixed results, but like it's Grimgore, so it's always a laugh. So yeah, so good sense of humor here. Just being like adamant that Grimgore is amazing when everyone knows that he's got some issues in multiplayer. But it's like, no, Grimgore's the best.
Can't argue with an axe like that. But I mean, Jenna said he's got better. I mean, in my YouTubers tournament, he made it to the quarterfinals, so he could get further with the stuff he's learned since.
Yeah, that was the quarterfinals, by the way, guys.
What did I say?
I don't know. You cut out.
Why does it do that?
I don't know. It wasn't when we were chatting. Just, I don't blame my internet.
I'm going to blame your internet. Yeah, he sends his internet packages by pigeon to the mainland and back. It's...
Yeah. Occasionally my internet gets started by an owl or something. Doesn't get to me. It's a nuisance.
It is. So that's Group C.
It happens, man.
Who do you think is going to be the top two? Because this is definitely more of a mixed bag, isn't there? There isn't a clear winner in that.
It's tough. This one is really tough. I think BlackIron could surprise me, because I haven't been following his career closely enough lately. because I know he is focusing more on Blood Bowl too. So I think he might have a bit more trouble. I think the other three definitely play a lot more Total War Warhammer sort of more consistently. So they might be more sort of up to date with the meta and you know, might be a bit more on top of their picks. But I mean, Wyvern, Zardar, and Loremaster of Sotek are all very competent. I think Zardar might be the best player here, I think, but there could still be upsets for sure.
Definitely.
So yeah, I think Sotek and Wyvern are both very capable, for sure. I think it's gonna be super close. I don't think it's gonna be like. I don't think there's gonna be a runaway lead here.
Definitely not. No. I put my 2 cents down because it's my tournament, my video, so I can. I think the top two. I don't know in which order, but I think it'd be Loremaster, Sotek, and Zardar. I think.
Sotek and Zardar, I think.
Yes.
I think.
I mean, it's got to be very close,
maybe.
but that's.
It's going to be close though.
Down. If I was going to put money down, it'd be in them two. But
sure.
hey, what do I know? It's.
Well, I mean, we just got to wait and see. That's the beauty of it.
Absolutely,
and
it's got to be a good group.
As well, I mean, that's the thing with blind picks. It doesn't necessarily. There is still some kind of. There can be some luck involved, and some strategy. Honestly, we're just picking your armies because if you're picking a certain faction, you might be thinking that they are going to pick a certain faction against you, right? So you might manage to sort of win that little sort of poker game, but yeah, but you just might end up picking something that's going to get crushed. You know, you might be unlucky with a matchup, and that might throw you, out of the top two. It's it can still be really tough. I mean, luckily there's enough games that usually sort of the best come out on top, but it doesn't mean that upsets can't happen, and that's kind of the fun of it, I think.
Yeah, no, and yeah, that's something that needs to be pointed out is the blind picks. It is because they know what maps they've got and they know which player on which map they're on, guys. So you got to then pick the best faction you think for that map against that player. It really does kind of bring out another side to the whole Total War Warhammer game.
Yeah, because that's the thing. They know what maps they're going to be playing on. So if they're not paying attention to that, if they're not considering that well enough. And not considering what their opponent might do with the map, then it's going to change what people are bringing a lot of the time, and it's going to change the faction they pick, the builds they bring. It's going to be interesting to see how people react to that kind of thing. But I think this group might be the closest group. Honestly, it's going to be really tight. So I'm very keen to see these matches.
Yeah, no, Group C's got to be one of my favourites for the closest games. I feel.
For sure.
Because obviously Group A, you've got more wild cards with new players. Group B, you've got all the pros and me. Group C is everyone's kind of like a certain, like the similar levels.
So
it's going to be
they're all very capable, and anyone could come out on top there. I think a lot of it will be decided by the build.
So
I think skill levels they're pretty damn even. A lot of it will come down to faction picks and builds.
So you're saying it's too close to call either way. You don't want to say any names or what?
Yeah, I don't think there's a standout there. I think it can be. I think a lot of these will be decided before the match starts. Honestly.
Oh really?
I think that could be the decider. Yeah, I honestly do. So we'll see. I'm not gonna bet either way.
Janet's just gonna leave the room. It's like, you know what?
Yeah.
It's not worth putting my name down. Group D.
So so let's leave Group C and to that mystery and Group D. So do you wanna kick us off?
Oh, I'll kick it off. Wow. So the final group. So these are the final 4 players. We've got another returner. We've got Gojira, who what's really interesting is on his channel he's been hosting his own tournaments, hasn't he? Like mini tournaments, live streamer tournaments, things like that. So what's great about that is not only he gets to see a lot of the meta and how things play out. But he's mixing that with Blood Bowl 2 tournaments as well because he just wants to cover all of the bases. He's just the 2 main things seems to be Total War tournaments and Blood Bowl tournaments, and he's doing both. So keeping himself busy.
Well, I think the thing with Gojira, I think him and Pwn are very similar.
Yes, that's very true.
As players, they'll both just put fun ahead of everything else. So. And you can kind of see that with Blood Bowl because it's such a silly game, but it's still Warhammer. So they clearly love the whole Warhammer thing, but they're happy just to get involved in silliness and roll the dice on stuff, literally, in terms of Blood Bowl. But that still comes across in their style in Warhammer. They will bring risks. They will sort of go all in with a single strategy that's like a bit of a giggle, So again, he can surprise people. He's a competent player, but we can't account for what he might be bringing to the table, in terms of builds. So he's going to be a bit of a mystery, I think.
Absolutely,
so it should be good fun to see what he brings.
It'll be good as well, as you said, because he brings the funny meme builds and, you know, just for fun and that. If his opponents can't recover quick enough, he will just flatten them.
Oh yeah.
And if they don't have the
I mean, we'll
counter
see.
for it,
We'll see what he brings. I'm very interested to see, because I can't hazard a guess as to what he's going to try and pull. I reckon he'll bring greenskins in a game.
He does like his greenskins. So.
Yeah, so that I think is one thing I'm willing to bet. But other than that, who knows?
I reckon he may
so
bring greenskins. That's like the worst bet I've ever. I may bet that he might bring a faction to a tournament.
Possibly, yeah.
Wow, it's
Yeah. That's as far as I'm willing to go, because he likes to throw in a bunch of weird stuff. It's a laugh. So yeah, it should be good matches.
So moving on to the next one, Janet.
Yep. So we have GeneralConfusion, not to be
I'm generally confused
Lieutenant
by
Confusion. Yeah. So good guy. So he was new to one of your tournaments. He joined in for the winter tournament, and we had a lot of games ahead of the tournament to sort of get him familiar with multiplayer, because again he hadn't done a lot of multiplayer, but like he soaks it up really quickly. Like he remembered everything I told him, and I could see that when he was playing. Like, so if he's continued learning at that pace, he could be great here. So yeah, I got some faith he's going to do well, I think.
I mean, he's done a lot of like Total War stuff, but at the moment on his channel, he's actually moved to other things like Dominions 5, and he's just.
Well, I think that's where he started actually. I think he was doing Dominions long before he started Warhammer.
That's his main
the strategy game he focused on.
Yeah. But yeah, it's great to have him back. See how he does in this group. So you got someone who soaks up things like a sponge, and then you got someone who just throws stuff at the wall to see what sticks.
Yeah.
So it's already a great start for Group D, and we've got a new name for Group D next, haven't we? Which I'm very excited to have aboard. Would you like me to do this one?
Yeah, go ahead, man.
I'll do that. So this is MonstersAbound, someone who I've been trying to get into my tournaments for a little while. Great YouTuber, has a great set of content there. At the moment, he's doing like Three Kingdoms, Mortal Empires. Oh, and he's doing Mechanicus as well. He's doing the same campaign as you, Janet. Yeah. So as you can see, he's got good coverage of the Warhammer universe, Fantasy and 40k. But it is his first tournament. But he has done he does them on the is it insane difficulty? I want to say. Legendary. That's it.
Yeah.
The hardest difficulty. He does it on the hardest difficulty and does really well. But again, it's like the ones in Group A. Can you bring that against, like, playing against pro players on multiplayer in a tournament format?
Yeah. It's really tough to call, because I mean, there are some players who can just immediately, like, they just tune into the fact that certain things are different. They can just sort of like scrape away all those like bonuses you get from the Legendary Lords in campaign and just be like, yep, okay, I know what this unit is good at. I know how to use this. I can't expect this to never run away. They can be very good at just immediately going, right, I'm in multiplayer mode. So we just have to see if he can make that transition quickly, because I mean, he's got a great outlook, I think. Good good sportsmanship. Nice guy. I hope he does well.
Definitely going to be a wild card for Group D, because that's the thing, as you said, with the new players, you've got all these other players. It's like, we've played in tournaments. I know what you do. I know what you're doing. Who are you? What is this? They don't. You can't counter what you don't know.
Yeah, exactly. So as long as these players are competent, they can surprise. Just by bringing an off-meta pick, and that can really cause upset. So we'll see how he does.
Absolutely. And then we'll move on to the final player for Group D and the final player for the whole tournament, the 16th player, which is DahvPlays. So it seems fitting. Dav in Group D, it was all planned. Nothing to do with rolling dice in the slightest. But
of course,
this guy, when it comes to his Total War, he is he's quite up there with his knowledge. He does a lot of matches, live stream tournaments.
Oh, he's serious about it.
Absolutely. And I believe you two have classed Blades before. In I know in my tournament you did, because you came third, he came fourth. So you beat him for third place, which I'm sure he's not bitter in the slightest. Because that was the one where you had Turin in it as well. So
Yeah,
it's just
yeah.
like, oh, I can get close to Turin. You're just like, nope, go back to fourth. You know your place. But but he's done quite a few tournaments for Crev Assembly and myself. And he does his own tournaments now. And what I've seen, he's very knowledgeable of the game.
Oh yeah,
he's got
because he does a lot of unit testing as well.
Yeah, he does do a lot of that. And he's not going to get the jitters because he's done a few tournaments under his belt. So I think this is definitely a strong one for Group D.
Yeah, I think so. I think he's the front runner here. I think he's a front runner. I think he's gonna be closer between the last three. So I think the real battle will be for second place yet again in this group.
Absolutely. And it all comes down to obviously GeneralConfusion. They've his really good build. Gojira is random, and in MonstersAbound we don't know what he's bringing. So there's three very different strategies there, and it's going to be really interesting to see how Group D. So you think Dav for sure, and then the other three, it could be anything.
Yeah, he's definitely the front runner. I mean, he could get upset, but I think he stands out against the other three.
Yeah, well, he's just got more experience, hasn't he? He's been in a lot more tournaments.
Yeah, exactly.
He's hosted tournaments where the other three haven't. Yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting, guys. That is everyone. Is there any thoughts about the tournament overview? I mean, you've said who you think is going to get through to the groups, but is there any favourites for the tournament overall, apart from yourself? Or...
no, just me.
Just
I'm going to get all the top places.
What, first, second, and third?
Yeah, and fourth, sadly.
Well, that's unfortunate, but...
yeah, I know. I was hoping not to get fourth place. I was hoping to get higher than that, but I do get the other three, so that's fine. No, no, I'm not actually that schizophrenic. No, honestly, I'm not sure. I'm really not sure here because, like I said, there are a few places where upsets can happen, and because of the nature of it with the blind picks, because it's best of ones, because it's group stage followed by another group stage. I think it'll be really interesting. I think sort of the best will come out, but it doesn't mean that the odd person won't go out unexpectedly because they've had some bad matchups, and that's why I really love this format. Especially with two lots of group stages, it just gives so many chances for people to get another chance of getting a win in each group and maybe placing higher than expected because they might have picked well their faction against somebody. So it's going to be really interesting to see who comes out on top. But I mean, I think I've already kind of outlined who I think are the standout
well,
players
it's like
here.
top 3 or 4 players by the sounds of it.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Anything can happen here.
And we've got some new faces, some new players that haven't taken part in tournaments. No one's seen what they'll bring.
Yeah, and they can surprise us a hell of a lot,
They could be like stupidly skilled and smack the biggest players out. We don't know.
Oh, yeah. Because, I mean, that's the thing. The people that are new to sort of Warhammer multiplayer, they've got some sort of they've got some credentials behind them anyway, right? Either sort of legendary campaigns or they're just big on multiplayer like strategy games in general. And so it's just a case of learn how the stuff here works, and if they can do the studying in time, then they could do great. That's the thing. If they have those skills, they have that awareness, they can do very well. So anyone could surprise here, I think.
Yeah, it's definitely a good line. I'm definitely thrilled with this. Some of the names are now. I couldn't believe the picks though. It's like, oh, Group B, ShadowOnlineGaming, Profpwn, brilliant, Turin. Oh, me. Well, that was a good tournament. Well done, guys.
Yeah, Group B is going to be a challenge, but hey, it's going to be great, man. It's going to be great.
Uphill struggles are the best struggles. That's what I find.
Oh, for sure.
For the viewers, not for the person doing the struggling. But,
I don't know. You seem to take it your stride. It's going to be good.
It's going to be, but very excited about this, guys. And as I said, there will be a link to all of these channels, because all these are YouTubers. Don't forget that. They're not just random people off the street that Janet select. These are all YouTubers, so there'll be links so you can see their videos, you can see their content, get an idea.
And so that's actually one thing that we should mention is you will be casting the entire tournament.
Yes.
So every match you'll be able to find on Shadow's channel, and everyone else will be casting their own individual games. So that means that every game, well, okay, except Shadow's games, where you'll only get the 2 perspectives. For every other one, you will get 3 different perspectives on each replay. So if you see a particularly crazy match where you just can't decipher, from one person, there's so many other people you can see. So you can think, what was this guy thinking? You'll be able to find out, and I think that's really fun. be able to see perspective of what people's thought processes were behind their build, where they think they went wrong. You've got all that information because everyone is showing their games from their own perspective, as well as Shadow giving the overall sort of, you know,
which is something
commentary.
you don't get in many tournaments, is it? Is
Cool.
the actual into the players'
yes.
heads, what they were doing at the time and why they done it. So
exactly. So anytime you want to learn more, yeah, you'll be able to find a lot more about just that individual game, and you might find some YouTubers that you haven't heard of, you know, beforehand, and decide actually they're great and you want to watch more.
Absolutely, and it should be all scheduled, so the games are all done on the same day. So I'll be doing like round 1 to 6, Monday to Saturday. But obviously, like if Janet's in the first round, he'll do the first on the Monday, and then might be the Wednesday, Thursday, whenever your rounds are. So if you're watching on my channel, and then you can go and click on the links in the description to watch those matches on the same day of those players. It's gonna be hype. It's gonna be good, isn't it?
So there'll never be a long wait if you wanna see a different perspective. So yeah, should be good. Should be good.
Fantastic. Right, I think that covers everything. Is there anything I've forgotten, Janet, or are you there?
Yeah, you cut out, so I wasn't sure if you'd finished talking.
I can tell. I looked at my Discord then. My thing stopped flashing green, so I think it's Discord.
Yep.
Discord.
Yeah, it is. It's because you're speaking too loudly because you've got your stage voice on.
Why did you tell me? Hang on, I wasn't.
I told you that already.
I don't want your excuses, Janet.
It's too late now. Doesn't matter. Anyway, so yeah, that's been the rundown of the tournament, and hopefully you guys all turn out for it, and be cheering on your favourite YouTubers. So be sure to give them some love.
Yes, especially Janet. He's feeling very unloved. He couldn't find a tramp to lick in this tournament, so he's feeling quite good.
I couldn't.
But he's not feeling love. So anyway, we're
I regret saying that.
Oh no, we're gonna make into a meme.
That's just a thing now. Yeah, great. Thanks.
Into a meme. So,
thanks everyone. Thanks.
You can only blame yourself.
I appreciate it a lot.
Anyway, yeah. So that's everyone, guys. And yeah, links in the description. And I think it's a good idea doing this sort of thing. Full breakdowns of all the players and that. First time I've done it, but it didn't go too badly.
Yeah, we're fine. So yeah, first match will be up Monday,
5th of August.
So head over to Shadow for the 5th of August. So it's gonna be So everything but Sundays, right? Just game a day until it's done, isn't it?
Indeed, that's absolutely Monday to Saturday. And the first game, guys, is Janet on occasion versus Vulcan. So no pressure, Janet.
I didn't catch that.
I was saying the first round is between yourself and Vulcan.
Yes, it is. So yeah, you'll see my game on today, so that'll be fun.
Start on a high note.
More beyond.
Fantastic. Right, guys, thank you very much for joining me. If you're on my channel, do check out Janet. If you're on Janet's channel, you might want to check me out.
Do it, guys. Do it.
Do it. Yeah, and thank you very much, Janet, for joining me for like nearly an hour. Well, it's about 2 hours with you.
You're welcome, mate. You're welcome. It's been a pleasure.
So that's great. Thank you very much. And guys, we'll hopefully see you on the 5th for our first round of the tournament. Till then, guys, take care.
Laters.